What's up, guys? Brady Burks here. Haven't made a video in a while. Sometimes I do a lot of the same things over. Better answer this. Telemarketer. I get like 4 of those a day. Anyway, I do a lot of the same stuff over and over again all day, so sometimes I don't make videos because I'm like, you guys don't want to see me do the same thing over and over and over again. So anyway, today we're gonna do something a little different, but I'm gonna take you through kind of our springtime chores. We're gonna build some fence with hot wire some more. I know, whoop-de-doo. We do a lot of that. So we're gonna do that. But first we gotta get some animals fed, show you what kind of animals we've got in right now. I'm wearing a hoodie and it's May in north central Kansas. Like this whole week the weather's supposed to be super cold. And yeah, not really a fan of it. Not when you're trying to raise birds and different things. So we're gonna get some corn here, give it to our fat cattle around the corner here. Got 15 of these fatties in here that are destined to be beef. So anyway, in here we got a new bull. He's got some growing up to do before he gets turned out with his girlfriends, but he is a full-blood Akiushi. So we'll put him on our Red Angus base cow herd and crank out some nice looking F1 cross babies. But hoping to have him ready for the fall, but definitely not gonna be ready this spring. But he is gonna serve us well. So down in this pen here, we've got those fat cattle. They are ready to go to the processor. A lot of them are sold. It's just a matter of getting our processing dates. We booked some in advance on purpose because we thought with COVID that they might book up fast. And now most of the processors are booked out until 2021. It's absolutely insane. But we've got enough processing dates to get these beef in there, and we've got them sold, and we're just super happy that while our outfitting business is kind of taking a dump, we're able to sell beef and make up for it through providing fresh local meat to the community and people abroad. Like I say, we've shipped out some boxes to California lately, New York, just literally all over the place. And we'd never imagined that we'd do 4 years worth of meat sales in 2 weeks. So we're just super fortunate, super blessed. And I say super a lot, but that's okay. So anyway, we're gonna get those fat cattle some corn here, get the bull and these little 5-weight steers some corn just to keep them tame. Probably cube those heifers as well for the same reason. Then we're gonna go up to the lodge farm, do the same thing for the fat steers up there, and then check on our pasture raised chickens. I've been checking those chickens this morning at 3 a.m. and just trying to give them all the heat that we can give them. Never has it been like this cold. I don't want to say never, but we're just having a real challenge raising those pasture raised chickens with weather like this. So hopefully we'll go up there and have cute little chicks to look at and not dead ones. So these heifers are not on feed to get fat. The only reason we dump them a couple buckets of corn is just to keep them tame. If they were to get out, their new owner, whoever buys them, if they happen to get out, if they need to work them, whatever they need to do, they can get them caught with just a simple bucket of feed or a bag of cubes. It just keeps them really tame so that they're not afraid of you or your vehicle. And as you can see, they're just content as all get out. If it ain't good enough for you, it ain't good enough for the cows. Hey, cows! What do you think? going to be so crazy. I don't know if you can hear me, but out here, it's like a little 15-acre pasture. If you were to put a cow-calf pair out here, you'd have like one pair for the entire summer. We used to have horses out here, but horses are pretty much just hay burners, so we had to think of a way to make this pasture profitable. One of the ways that we've been doing it is with pasture-raised poultry. Now what we do is, you can see how green the grass is right here, how much darker that is compared to over here. That was last year where we took that building and moved it every day. And here it is right here. It's got a hollow floor in it. We'll get in there and show you, but we basically move it forward every day to fresh grass and raise chickens on it. Behind it, you know, the grass looks dead or different things, but it actually comes back greener. The chickens do really good on that fresh green forage. They also get a little bit of feed as well, I mean, just for maintenance. But the problem we're having is, last year we didn't get chickens in till like May 24th, and this year we got our first batch in here like 3 weeks ago, and you see me today in a hoodie. I mean, it's just been unseasonably cool. It was 43 overnight, so we basically have this thing boxed up. We haven't been moving it, mostly just to try and keep them as warm as possible. We put these chicks out here a little earlier than we normally would, so we're basically brooding them on pasture now as well. And it's kind of a mess. I got stuff all over trying to seal it up, but we're gonna go in and check on them and see what they look like this morning. I checked on them in the middle of the night and they seem to be pretty warm, but during the day is always rough. Hello, chickens! So we've got this propane heater in there, heat lamps hanging all over, and we just put fresh bedding in last night. You can see the floor is hollow, so every morning we move this building forward onto fresh grass. You can see it. I mean, it's still very green in here. But with these chicks being smaller than normal and it being cooler than normal, we erred on the side of just dumping fresh bedding in and keeping this building stationary at least for another week or two. Then we'll go back to our normal moving them onto fresh grass all the time, but we're just going to brood them a hair longer with how cold it's been. But thank goodness they're all alive, because I've walked in here. What they do is, when they get cold, they start to pile, they start to stack on one another, and they suffocate or they kill each other. So couldn't be happier. It's always, I love the taste of pasture-raised poultry. I love the satisfaction of you know, keeping them on fresh grass and everything, but they are way more stressful than a beef or, you know, dogs or anything, because they're just so fragile. But maybe that's why it feels so much better when you get them to harvest weight, because you know how much work they are. It's just an old calf hut that we put dog kennel doors on, and then it's obviously much boxed up and sealed up, because we're trying to keep, I mean, even this north wind blowing today is cold enough to chill those chicks and kill them. But then on the sides here, we've got these hog panels, so if anything tries to dig, they can dig all they want, but they won't get through these hog panels. We've got a door back here to allow ventilation out the back. Same thing on the sides here. Got this door, this window back here, that if it gets hot, we can dump it back in between the north and south wind, get some plenty of ventilation. And it's maybe hard to see in the video, but you can see how right out this lane it's a little darker green than it is over here. This is because this is the run we took last year. You move this thing forward every morning with a pickup, your skid steer. We're getting ready to get a second building and run 2 of them at the same time, but they'll be able to leave that building, run this pasture, and then we'll put them back up in the buildings at night and raise these chickens out on pasture. Let them pick up bugs and grit and whatever, but you can see there's little spots of green that are a lot darker. And some of this dirt is because we drove in here when it was a little muddy getting this thing set up. But anyway, we're gonna get them fed and watered, and whew, thank goodness. Chicken stressed me out, man. Okay, so we filled those waters. That time lapse didn't go very well, my camera turned, but we filled those waterers. We need to feed them too, but we're gonna go get some fresh shavings for them. I'm out of wood shavings, and then we're gonna grab a bale with the old bale bed truck here and dump them off to the heifers. So hopefully she starts. She should. Oh yeah. So around this time last year, I had an F350, a 2013 F350, and it caught fire. So we had a family member sell me this truck, and it's been a great truck. I'm happy with it, but lately I just got it back from the shop, a full in-frame overhaul. So I'm probably gonna keep that thing till the floor rusts out. New injectors, head studs, head gasket, you name it, it got it. But it's definitely got some horsepower now. But when you've seen me rocking around that Suburban for the last month and all these videos, got my truck back. It's been super nice. After I got the truck back though, I'd realized that, I mean, obviously I had some real red flags throwing up, like coolant low, truck overheating. Like, I knew I had a head gasket because the coolant was pressurized and things, and so I had some significant red flags, like my truck needs some work. But after having it back, I realized that this truck had been tired for a long time. Like, she's got way more horses under the hood after coming back out of the shop than she ever did, and that's one reason I'm like, man, probably gonna keep it forever now. I mean, it's got everything you want. Yeah, it's older, but gets the job done, especially now. She sure moves out. I don't have a name for this truck. I've had a few choice 4-letter words for it, but I don't have a name for her, but she runs now. So, you may have a cowboy hat, but unless you got a crack in the windshield of your bale bed pickup, you ain't no cowboy. Gotta have a crack in your windshield, that way they know you're real punchy. We're headed to town to get some wood shavings. On the way back, we'll pick up a bale from our alfalfa field and feed it to those heifers, but get some wood shavings and a large farva, a liter of cola. I'm sorry guys, but I'm gonna keep the stash until quarantine is over just for grins. It's been this long, I hate to part with it. So we are back in this alfalfa field trying to pick up a bale. Not how you're supposed to pick it up, obviously, but I stack them end to end like that so that when you pull them apart they stay green and shed water. But then when you use your bale bed pickup that has arms, it's hard to get them, so you gotta grab them funny and pull them out. A little unorthodox. But we got that bale. Got some alfalfa finally greening up. Looking good. It was cold, still cold, and still chances of being cold, so it's could be a little better, but we're happy with it. We've got a stand. To get back there, we got to go through the over the river and through the woods, literally. It was a little tough going through here the first time, so we'll see what we can do this time. We'll give her the onion. Little low water crossing. Yee-hoo! Oh boy, we made her. All right. Keep telling myself I need to throw some rock down there, build that back up, and just it keeps getting put on the back burner, but it is a tough one to get everything back through there if that stays wet like that. Oh man, look at that alfalfa. Well, weedy, but first cutting's always that way. And then we'll come back and spray in between each cutting and shoot for quality over quantity. I'm gonna square bale this year, so wish us luck with that. But boy, with this cooler weather early on, it took it a while to come out of dormancy, and then now with the threat of cold weather, this established stuff will be all right, but sure knocks it back. Kind of like those rain and hot day type weather events, but can't always get that. What we have to work on is this little crossing to get back into this 50 acres or so. It is awfully tight with a swather, and I've got scratches on the side of the header because I lean into that fence pretty good. So I either need to move that fence over, which is a pain in the butt, but it is tight. You hit something like that and you tip everything over, so that's on the other to-do list. Maybe I'll just pull a couple T-posts and tamp them back in and see if I can't give myself a little wiggle room, but that's another tough spot to get back here. Not everything can be big old flat half sections. In fact, none of it is big old flat half sections. Everything is tight small fields like that. Alright, here's the trick, is to see if we can get these cows back and get in here without them getting out. Hey! Hey, cows! Hey! Hey! I know. Life's tough. Hey! Yep. 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 Hey. 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 Back up. Hey, hey, hey. Hey.
What if all this time you were meant to be mine? It's a funny thing.
We'll unload here. Just enough. We'll cut the net wrap off before we let it go all the way down. Okay. Grab the knife. Go. Again, normally you would grab it the other way and unroll these bales. Typically what I like to do, but the way I had them staged, this is how we grabbed it. Then we'll put a ring around it, a bale ring, so that they don't get in there and step on it and waste a lot of bale. But as you can see, for heifers, they're pretty docile. They follow a truck. They came to the bucket earlier. Pretty easy to handle. Man, if I can get this cut. Here's the plans. Maybe we'll just roll it anyway. Sometimes I can get them to stand straight up. Then I'll put a bale ring around it. I like to do that because it's easy to get this net wrap off when you're not going to roll it out. But we may have to halfway roll it out anyway. Alrighty, we'll put a ring around that now. Looks like it's about time to shed the hoodie. All 4 seasons in one day. 43 overnight. Might hit 80 some today. What a time to be alive. As I pointed out in one of my other videos, one day when I win the lottery, we'll have a concrete pad poured right here. We'll have concrete bunks. And if you were just gonna feed bales of hay, a hay buster or something to just unroll that bale into the bunk would be nice, so you don't have to open up gates. We do grind hay and feed hay too. And tire feeders and things like that is one way to do it. Same thing though, like up where those steers are at the lodge, I'd have to open up some gates and things. It's not that I'm so lazy I can't get out of the truck or tractor to open a gate. It's just like that. Like, you're just one cow away from a rodeo if they decide to make a run for it when you're by yourself. So, all right, now we're gonna grab a bag of feed and go tend to those chickens, dump out those wood shavings. After we do that, I'll probably split this video in half and do a separate video of us fencing and things. This is just kind of springtime chores in a way. It's not hard, it's just time consuming. So we're almost busier now, even though we're not in the field planting or haying and things like a lot of other guys are. We got a lot of nitty gritty things. So we threw some fresh bedding down, some fresh feed. We still got that propane heater running, but it is warming up enough today that we probably don't have to leave this shut up quite as much. So we will we'll definitely have to come back this evening around dark and really get her closed up. But that's why it looks so redneck engineered, is we normally don't have to keep this as closed up. Don't have to keep this as closed up as we are. So I've been sliding metal and plywood in there at night to just cut down on the wind and kind of seal that heat in there. And it looks awful, but it's working. So anyway, I put those wood shavings down. Guys will ask, guys will probably say, like, if you're gonna do that, why don't you just build a chicken house and do it the conventional way? And our goal is not to raise them that way. We normally don't go put wood shavings out there and treat it like a stationary building. Like I say, the weather is the prime reason we have to do what we're doing right now with closing it up, making it stationary, adding heat. Later on in the year, we can basically be hands off. Just move that building every day, fill up the water, and let nature do the rest. Let them pick at the grass. We'll give them feed at night so that they go back in the building to roost and predators can't get them. But it's a little unorthodox right now, given that the weather's been a little crazy. So that's probably gonna do it for this video, guys. I'm gonna go put up some hot wire fence for some mama cows and move them to a new pasture. I'll film that here. My camera's about to die, so I'll describe that in the next video. Appreciate you guys watching. Please like and subscribe. This today was just kind of a glimpse into like morning chores. Again, typically we don't have to babysit everything like we are today. It's hard to get a project started and finished, like fencing, when you gotta you know, come take care of these chickens, then come back in the evening, make sure they're not too cold or too hot, with a lot of the other projects that we've got going on. But it won't be like that forever. Cows will be out to grass, these chickens will get bigger, and things will be streamlined. But for right now, we kind of chase our tails with all of our animals and irons. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one. Maybe I'll have the mustache shaved by then. Gosh, I'm so sorry you have to look at it. Thanks.